ओके स्टूडेंट्स, पहले वैसे हम इंटरपोलेशन जो प्रोसेस है, इंटरपोलेशन का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. सो अगेन वी let's say slightly go back and we start from the topic of interpolation process. So we start here from the topic interpolation, right? Okay, before going towards the concept of interpolation, first of all, you must know that, okay, in any physical quantity, mainly you can say in any physical process, sorry, there are mainly two types of variables called independent and dependent variables. And the independent and dependent variables are associated, can be associated through certain mathematical function, right? So there are two types of situations. Sometimes the function is known analytically between the independent variable and independent variables and the dependent variables are. And the second situation is when we just have some values of independent variable, and for those values of independent variable we have certain values of dependent variable, right? So there are mainly two types of situations. So look at, so there are two types of, first of all, you will again write on, there are two types of variables, right? Two types of variables. Which are number one, independent variables, and number two is dependent variables. Okay, so there are two scenarios. Relation between independent and dependent variables. Means the relation between independent and dependent variables must be kept in mind. So there are two types of situations. The first situation is that the relation between independent and dependent variable is known, and the second situation, mathematically, means analytically, the expression is known between, you can say, independent variable and dependent variable. And the second situation is when the relation, when the function which relates independent variable with the dependent variable, that is unknown. So that is the second situation, which is you can say will be in our focus while going towards the concept of interpolation, right? Okay, so let's see next. Two situations. Number one is when relation between independent and dependent variable is known. Okay, so this is a situation, means this is when we are relaxed, when we are relaxed. relaxed in the sense, put the value of independent variable in the given function and get the value of dependent variable. Right, so this is where you can say the situation where we have no tension about finding the value of dependent variable for any, you can say, the value of independent variable except those values of independent variable where the function given is not, you can say, defined. Okay, so we see the next stage. Look at. Okay, the second situation is important from the topic of interpolation point of view. So that is a situation when function or relation between independent and dependent variable is not given or unknown. Okay, so this is a situation when you can say we are unable to find the value of a dependent variable for any arbitrary value of independent variable. For example, if you have been given certain values of dependent variable for certain values of independent variable, so that is a situation where we are, you can say, bound to, you can say, you can say with a full certainty that this is the value of dependent variable for the given value of independent variable. For example, let's say let's consider a table of values. Let's say here x is independent variable and let's say y is a dependent variable, and here the values of independent variable which is x, the independent variable is x, so the values of independent variable are given, let's say 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4. Okay, so these are the values of x here we are writing in the table, and but in this case the values of dependent variable are only given for the values of x when x is 1, when x is 2, when x is 3, when x is 4. For the value of x which is 2.5, the value of y is unknown. For example, let's say for x is equal to 1, the value of y is 1. For x is equal to 2, the value of y is, let's say, 1.5. And when x is equal to 3, in that case y, which is given in terms of the data values, that is, let's say, 4.5. And when x is 4, in that case let's say the value of y is 9.1, let's say. So this is the value. Let's say, for example, here in this case we are considering only one value of x for which the value of y is unknown. Otherwise, you can see here there are infinite number of values of x for which the values of y are unknown. For example, in between 1 and 2 there are extremely large number of values, let's say infinite number of values for which the value of the dependent variable is unknown. The values of dependent variable are unknown. Similarly, between 2 and 2.5, similarly 2.5 between 2 and 3, there are infinite number of values of x for which the values of y, the values of dependent variable have not been given here. So if we have a desire, if we want to find the value of dependent variable for any desired value of independent variable, that is any value of x, in that case we cannot find out the value of y for any other value which is not given in the table exactly. And so when that value of x which has not been given in the table, and for that value of x y is not known, for that value of x we cannot find, in general we cannot find the value of x the value of y exactly. For example, for x is equal to 2.5, we do not have any exact value of y. Means at the moment here for x is equal to 2.5, we do not have the value of y here. The value of y is not known. So in this case we can only approximate the value of y at x is equal to 2.5. Okay, do you see it? So these are the values of x. X is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, x is equal to 3, x is equal to 4, where we know the values of y exactly: 1, 1.5, 4.5, 9.1, right? So this is the value of x, which is 2.5. Let's say we are taking here only one value as an example, where the value of y is unknown, right? So this is a problem here, and in this case the function is not given. So we cannot put the value of you can say x is equal to, let's say, 2.5 in any function in order to get the value of y exactly. Okay, so this is a situation where the concept of interpolation comes. This is a situation, this is a stage where we try to approximate the values of dependent variable approximately, right? Okay, so let's look at now. Let's see the definition of interpolation. Okay, so we can define interpolation as a process of finding the value of dependent variable for a value of independent variable when the value of dependent variable has not been given in the table of values. Also, the value of independent variable must be between the minimum and maximum values of independent variable. Okay. Okay, so if you look at the table in the previous, you can say, slide, the value of x, which is 2.5, that is between the minimum value of x, which is 1, and the maximum value of x, which is 4. Okay, so the value of independent variable for which you want to approximately find the value of dependent variable, that value of x, you can say that is called interpolating value, for which you want to find the value of dependent variable. Okay, so finding the value of independent variable, for finding the value of dependent variable for any desired value of independent variable is called as interpolation process, when the value of dependent variable is not known for that value of independent variable, and that value of independent variable must also be between the minimum value of independent variable and maximum value of independent variable, right? So you can look at the table. Okay, so this is called the interpolation process. Okay, so in order to approximate the value of dependent variable for any you can say arbitrary value of independent variable, the process we use, that is called interpolation process. And in that case, the polynomial or the function which is used in order to find the value of dependent variable for any you can say arbitrary value of independent variable, that polynomial, let's say, that is called as interpolating polynomial. Okay, so let's next thing is the interpolating polynomial. We just look at the interpolating polynomial briefly. Look at. Interpolating polynomial. Okay, situation क्या है? The situation is actual function is unknown. Let the actual function is f of x. Okay, so because f of x is not given, is not known, means f of x is unknown. So the purpose is to approximate this unknown function in certain way. So the polynomial which approximates which is used to approximate f of x, okay, is called interpolating polynomial. Okay, so that polynomial which is used to approximate the unknown function is called as interpolating polynomial. In this case, you must keep in mind that this interpolating polynomial can only be used for the values of independent variable which are in between the minimum value of independent variable and maximum value of independent variable. Okay, so beyond the minimum value and maximum value of independent variable, this polynomial will not be, you can say, the predicting or approximating the value of dependent variable in right way. Means the error level will be extremely large. Okay, so next one. That is a degree of interpolating polynomial. Right? So you have to decide that of how much degree you you want to find the interpolating polynomial, right? So it depends how many, you can say, data points from the data table you are using in order to approximate the interpolating polynomial. If you are using, let's say, 2 data points from the table, you will be getting a straight line equation, means the polynomial of degree 1. And if you are using 3 data points from the table, in that case the polynomial you will be getting, that will be of second degree, means that would be quadratic polynomial, and so on. So if you use n data points for approximating interpolating polynomial, then the degree of interpolating polynomial will be n-1, right? Okay, today we stop here. Next time we will be starting further about the interpolating polynomial. Okay, see you next time.